Hey everyone, this is Steve Kik, mortgage loan officer and a member of the MMLA West Chapter leadership team, bringing you another episode of the MMLA Connect Podcast. Today, I have a good friend of mine and an awesome ambassador for the MMLA, as well as her company, NAN, which is Nationwide Appraisal Network. Today, I have Liv Stone with me. Liv, why don't you give us a little bit better introduction?
Yes. Liv Stone. I am with NAN, as Steve said. I've been in the industry here for about, I'd say, almost 8 years, since 2017. Started out in the appraisal industry, the appraisal side of things, I should say, and did that for a few years. And then I actually went and worked for a lender as an account executive. So I was able to learn the ins and outs of the rest of the loan process. Did that for a couple of years and realized that I really do love the appraisal side of it. So came to NAN, and I've been with NAN for about 2.5 years. I am with them as the regional sales manager for the Midwest. So I oversee about 11 states in the Midwest, creating new relationships and fostering existing ones with our lender partners. It's been a journey.
Nice. Well, that's awesome. You know, you've been in the business for 8 years, almost a decade now. So you're a seasoned vet. Tell us, can you tell us something that's going on right now in the appraisal world that our listeners would want to know about? Is there anything going on or any changes happening?
So the GSEs are actually putting into place and standardizing the reconsideration of value process. So across the entire industry. Again, this is mandatory for lenders that are working with the GSEs. It doesn't apply to private money, but we are seeing a lot of lenders that are starting to implement this. They understand this is kind of a benefit for borrowers, for them as a company, having a standardized process in place. But as of October 31st, lenders, banks, credit unions, anybody, again, working with the GSEs, they're going to have a process in place and an audit trail, for every reconsideration of value that is done. But this isn't just about value either. This goes for any, appraisal reports that may have errors, that may, show any discriminatory, any bias, anything like that. So the borrower also has to be notified that this is an option for them. They have to know that, if they feel that something is incorrect on the report, they have these, they have the option to, say, hey, we need to go back to the appraiser. That's where NAN comes in. We've already actually changed our process to adhere to the regulations that are being put into place. And so we actually did a webinar for some of our lenders, and just our chief appraiser, Bill Wattenbaugh, he explained the process, explained where it came from, why it's being put into place, and it was really beneficial. And we have that webinar on our website. So, and I don't know if you can put that in there just as a resource for anybody who's watching that may be interested and may not have a solution. You're going to have to really have a very secure, very black and white, process put into place. So, and I'll put myself out there too as, a resource. If you have any questions, I know there's a lot of lenders that work with private panels, I think such as LMCU with your company. There's a lot of those lenders that don't really know what to do in this situation, and that's where an AMC can really be beneficial, and really can be resourceful for to make sure that you guys are remaining compliant. So.
Absolutely. But also For the listeners who don't know, Liv said GSEs a couple times. So those are the government-sponsored entities, better known as Freddie Mac, Fannie Mae, Ginnie Mae. So anyway, trying to educate some people who might not know necessarily the mortgage lingo here.
I know
We've been
you
doing
get
it.
so used to it. You're like,
Yeah,
just throw all these acronyms out and just assume that everybody knows what they mean. So,
right, right. I'm
yeah,
trying to like come from the idea that someone might be listening to this that has no idea about anything mortgage related or whatever. So just
right.
figured I would throw that out there. GSEs, government sponsored entities. We love acronyms in the mortgage industry. So but that's great, honestly. Having a standardized process for an appraisal review or reconsideration is huge. It should be standardized for everyone, right? And then it's black and white, and it's not, hey, this lender's process is different than this one's, and maybe one process works better than the other too. So yeah, it'll be good to have that standardized, and also then appraisers will be able to review those reconsiderations more easily as well. So
And
I
two,
think it's gonna help all sides.
yeah, and I think that a lot more thought is going to go into these reconsiderations. A lot of times I know on our side we see them come in, they don't agree with the value. It should be $100,000 more, something like that. It should be X value, or we, use these comps because we think they're better. Just kind of throwing something at the wall and just
Yeah,
hoping it sticks, because
yeah,
this regulation and these guidelines also put into place that it's very strict that only one can be done. So you really got to put your thought, your research into it, and so I just think there's gonna be better results from these once this
sure.
really goes live with everyone. So.
Great. So, Liv, tell us something that's going on at NAN right now that you're excited to offer to your lenders, or anything you have in the works right now that you're really excited about at your company.
We've got two initiatives that we have started with our appraisers, and this is really to help turn time, to really, have appraisers kind of put NAN on the priority list, so to speak. We've always offered next day pay, but what we're doing is we are expanding that. So, if the appraiser submits the report within 24 hours after inspection, we are paying them the next day. Now, that used to not be part of our program. It was very limited to certain products, certain loan types. And so this allows it to kind of open up to almost every order. The appraisers are eligible to get paid the next day. So we're seeing a lot of good feedback from that. And we're starting to see some changes for the better in our turn times. And then we also have a new proprietary technology, Appraise Connect, which allows appraisers to accept and schedule the inspection, accept the assignment, schedule the inspection, and then also, even before all of that, they can research the property right from their phone. Appraisers are really busy. A lot of them are on the road majority of the time. So this is allowing orders to kind of get moving a lot quicker. And again, this is something that is kind of doing some good for turn times, and really just giving our appraisers tools to be able to get those reports back to our clients sooner. So these are, like I said, about a month, but so far it's exciting. We're seeing some good stuff from it, which is good
Sounds
for
like
us.
you're really utilizing technology to your advantage. That it obviously there. Some people have a love-hate relationship with technology, but when it works, right? And it really can help speed things up in our business. So it's awesome to see that you're utilizing those avenues.
Yeah, I mean, and we are utilizing technology and really kind of using that to our advantage. But I don't want to, stray from the fact that we are still a very much client facing, like, that person to person. We're not, a call
Relationships.
center. Yeah, we've got people on the forefront that are working with our clients directly. So, but on the back end, anything that helps things move a little bit quicker, that's, that's always a plus. So
Definitely. For sure. Well, awesome. Sounds like Nan's got some great things going on, and things are moving in the right direction. Liv,
yeah,
let's switch gears here a little bit, and talk about the MMLA, and your involvement with the MMLA, how long you've been involved, why you got involved, and kind of go from there.
yeah. So I got involved at the MMLA last year. It's
It's only been a
actually,
year.
well, we're going on a year and a half. I
Okay.
think last June is when I attended my first event, and then I was hooked. So, yeah, so about a year and a half. But it's honestly been the best thing that could have happened for me, for my career growth, for a lot of different reasons. The MMLA has really grown to hold a very special place in my heart. It's such a great group of people in all of the chapters. I'm in the Southeast, but I try to go to events in other chapters, which I know you're aware. So yeah, so I am actually on the leadership team for the Southeast chapter. It's been a lot of fun. I could go forever and say all the great things about MMA. So it's been a fun ride.
It's crazy to think that you've only been involved for a year. It seems longer than that, just with how passionate you've been, and I think with how many events you've been to as well. You came to the West Chapter golf outing, which was pretty cool. You made the trek all the way over, and got to meet a lot of people that you might not normally meet. And that's the
Yeah,
nice part about, you knew a few of us, and you reached out and you're like, hey, I want to come, but I don't know anyone, and we got you connected, and I think you had a great time, and it was really awesome to see you, make that journey, and actually, take that upon yourself, right? I mean, you drove over by yourself. That's a big thing to do. Go to a golf outing with a bunch of people you don't know. So kudos to you for that. I was super appreciative, and obviously you have a lot of drive. The MMLA has a lot of great aspects that can help you, but it's also what you put into it, right? So
yeah,
you've really put a lot of time and energy and effort into, helping build the MMLA up and whatnot, and we're super appreciative of that, Liv. So looking forward to your continued leadership, and what you can help do for the MMLA.
yeah. And I have to say, I meant to say this before. The reason I got involved was because I started as the regional sales manager for the Midwest. And NAN is a company that is based in Tampa. We're based in Florida. We don't have a lot of exposure to the Midwest, and so I took this role on, and I'm like, well, first things first. What kind of state associations are there in my home state, in Michigan, and I found the MMLA, and I really didn't know what to think of it, and so it's such a pleasant and it was such a pleasant experience to find that this is such a great, a great group, a great association, and definitely has exceeded my expectations. Just going in, just trying to give NAN exposure, and so far it's just been a great period of growth for my personal, professional career. You know what I mean? Is that,
Yeah.
I don't know how to really put that into the best words, but yeah, no, I appreciate your kind words too, and I do. I mean, I am very motivated to make a difference in our industry. I know I'm not directly a loan officer or a lender, but it's just cool to be part of something a lot bigger you know, than me. So
I think that's why most of us get involved, Liv, is that we want to be involved in something bigger than just writing a mortgage or, helping with an appraisal, right? We want to help the industry that we're working in. So I'm glad
yeah,
that you brought that up, because I would say most of the people who are heavily involved in the MMLA, have a strong desire to push the industry forward and make it better for everyone, whether it's borrowers or, the people who actually work on the loans, loan officers, operations
Yeah,
staff, and obviously our many other vendors. So the MMLA is a great place. It's done great things for your career and my career as well. So we'll keep tooting that MMLA horn as long as we can, right?
absolutely. All the time. All the time.
Well, besides work, let's move on to what you do outside of work. Liv, let's get a little bit of your why, what keeps you motivated, or what kind of things you do for fun outside of the office.
Well, so when you say my why, I mean it doesn't really surround things that I do outside of the office, and I just have to say this, but um, I I thought really hard about this piece because it's kind of something that I've been searching for what is the reason why I have so much drive? What is my motivation? But I think I've come to the conclusion that, although the appraisals are such a small piece of the loan process, I see loan officers, I see, all these people that are actually originating the loans. They are doing this to change other people's lives. And, to I feel like a piggyback to that. I'm that in a lot of times I'm that last piece of the puzzle before that loan gets to the closing table. And so it really kind of warms my heart, to be part of that process and to be helping change these people's lives that are buying their first home, their second home, their first investment properties, whatever the case is, that's life changing for them. So it's I'm a people person, and so it really drives me and fuels my fire every day. So yeah, but
Awesome.
on the
But
fun side,
yeah, let's switch. I was gonna say let's switch over to that.
so
When you're
yeah,
not helping people get to the closing table by making sure their appraisals are coming through in a timely fashion and done correctly. What are you doing for fun, Liv?
well, Steve, I definitely live my life very spontaneously. Pack my bag and go on a weekend trip. Cross the border to a different state, or just go to a new place, drive up north. It's kind of random, but yeah, as you can tell behind me, I definitely love plants, this is just a fraction of what I actually have in my office here. I've definitely grown a green thumb in the past, we'll say, few years, and so I spend a lot of time, if I'm not caring for my plants, probably looking for a new plant to purchase and take care of. But I'm also a singer, and so on a random, Friday, Saturday night, you can catch me at my local karaoke bar. Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Yes.
You
Yeah.
should
I
not
mean,
have let us know that. Now you're gonna have to sing karaoke every time we're at an event.
okay. That sounds like fun. Let's
I
do
love
it.
it. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
That's
But no,
awesome.
just being outside, like I said, I don't do a lot of things, routinely. I mean, I have a ton of hobbies, but they're all very sporadic. Um, but being outside really is probably one of my favorites. Doing anything outside.
Well, as you can see, I have a lot of plants behind me too, and they actually look somewhat healthy. But I do my best to try and keep them alive as much as possible. So that's
Sometimes
cool. We definitely share that.
it's out of your control. Sometimes, it's not
Is
always
it,
happy
or is
ending.
it that we just don't know what we're doing? Let's be
Great
honest here.
question.
I'm watering it, but I may be watering it too much or too little, or I
It's a
probably
very
need a
thin
book.
line to walk too. It's
Right,
you
for
have to.
sure.
It's difficult, but that's why that is one of my hobbies because I they require a lot and they're all different, so they all require
Yeah.
different things. So, but it's fun. I like it. Sounds
Just
like
like
you do.
deals, right? Our
Yeah,
deals require something a little bit different on every one, right? You got to know
everyone.
where to put the energy, where to put the effort, So it's a good parable for sure.
Yeah, it's never a dull moment. That's for sure.
Definitely not. Well, before we wrap up here, Liv, I like to ask all my guests to leave us with one positive thing that they can talk about in the industry or I don't know, in life in general, but leave us with one positive note.
Well, I will say, I know everybody who's in the industry understands that this is a very volatile industry. It's a lot of ups and downs. It's just one big roller coaster. But it always, there's always a light at the end of the tunnel. It always gets better. And I think that one thing that everybody should remember when we're in those low times is that we're all in the industry. We all have the same end goal. We're all working to help somebody achieve the American dream. So we're all helping somebody to make a very huge life purchase. That it's not always easy, and it's not always sunshine and rainbows, and rates are low, and things are easy. But what we're doing is for the greater good of people that are trying to make their lives better. We all have one common goal, and I think that's a really a beautiful thing about the mortgage industry. So
For
I,
sure.
yeah, I have to remind myself of that sometimes.
The work can get stressful, but at the end of the day, we are helping people buy homes and build generational wealth, and it
Exactly.
is a pretty cool thing to be bestowed upon us, right?
Yeah,
Because that's, for many people, it's their most important financial decision, the largest financial decision typically for a lot of people. And yeah, the number one way or one of the best ways to build generational wealth for your family. So we,
absolutely.
you can't get that lost on the day to day, and it's easy to because things get stressful. As you know, we were talking before we got on this call or on this podcast here about the stresses of the job and whatnot. So,
Yeah.
but I appreciate you coming on here, Liv, with us today.
Yes.
It's been great talking with you. Thank you to everyone who listened to this episode of the MMLA Connect podcast, and we look forward to you listening to more episodes. Thanks so much, Liv.
Thanks, Steve.